Hey guys, welcome back to WatchGauge and happy Friday. So this week has been a crazy week, the last 10 days or so. The next week is going to be equally as crazy as we're shipping out about 140 NTH pre-order watches that are finally in. So I can't wait to do that. Cannot wait to get those watches in the hands of those of you who have pre-ordered and have been patiently waiting. And for your patience, I thank you dearly. So last week was pretty nuts and a lot of fun. If you've been following along on our Instagram as well as on the WatchGauge Facebook page, you'll see a lot of posts that I put up last week from both the Divers Watches Facebook group as well as Worn and Wound Windup. Both of these events were absolutely fantastic. So just a little quick recap. The Divers Watches Facebook group, if you're not in there, shame on you. It is one of the largest Facebook groups in the watch industry. I believe there's about 46 or 47,000 members, and it is a closed Facebook group, so that is a very impressive number. So once a year, or at least the second year running, we've had the Divers Watches Facebook group get together in New York City at a place called the Press Box. Needless to say, there were some amazing watches there, some great brands represented, as well as the visitors brought many of their own collections, which were just outrageous. It was a lot of fun looking at watches, but more importantly were the people. We had people come in literally from all over the world. The group's founder, Andreas, came in from Cyprus, from the beautiful island of Cyprus where he resides. Alistair came in from Scotland with his wife. We had people from all over the States. I believe there were a couple people there from Asia. So it was just a fantastic event. A lot of people are in. It was kind of planned properly where the Worn and Wound Windup was the same weekend. So a lot of people would have been in town anyway. But I'd like to think that partially the reason they came into New York was to be at the get-together. Then on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was what's turned into one of the larger and, in my opinion, one of the best watch shows in the United States, which is the Worn and Wound Windup. I have to give a lot of credit to the guys at Worn and Wound. They really put together a first-class show. It was held at the Chelsea Market. I believe there was probably about 30 or 40 brands there. And it was an amazing time to get together with a lot of people that I feel I talk to on a fairly regular basis. I got to see these people, I got to talk to them, I got to hold and check out their watches and the new collections they're coming out with. And because of this event, thank you again, Worn and Wound guys, I am going to be carrying at least another 3 or 4 brands, maybe over the next month and a half, where we get to introduce them on WatchGauge, but at least we set the foundation, we worked out details, all because of the show. And again, I have to tell you, one of my favorite things about the watch industry is the people. Bringing together people from all walks of life, all over the world, with a common interest and a common passion for watches. We had such an amazing time. I got to go on Friday. I know a lot of people were going on Saturday and Sunday. I was somewhat regretful I wasn't able to make it on Saturday and Sunday, but my boys play ice hockey. And for anybody who's got any association with ice hockey, you know it's a major commitment, so we had some great ice hockey games last weekend, so I wasn't able to do Saturday and Sunday. So speaking of dive watches, gets me to the point of this video. It also brings us naturally to a wristwatch check. Before we do that, a little bit of a backstory. WatchGauge became 1 year old on September 1st of this year, so I launched on September 1st of 2017. The first year has come and gone, and I'm very happy and very proud of what we are so far and how far along we are with the brands that we carry, with the social media and the contacts and you guys following along and buying watches. So I'm super stoked about that. I did want to have a 1 year anniversary party. It looks like it may be a 1.5 year anniversary party at this stage. I just don't have the time to plan it. But the reason I bring this up is early on, even before the launch of WatchGauge, one of my favorite brands, which we're going to get into, I've been in contact with them. I've had conversations with the owner many times, and we haven't been able to make things happen on a business relationship level. And finally, we put the wheels in motion about a month ago. And officially now, I am super stoked, one of my favorite micro brands, to announce that we are officially an authorized retailer of Gavox. So let's do the wristwatch check. As you know, it takes a second to get into focus here with my setup. So this is the Gavox Avidiver. The Gavox Avidiver, I have to say, is one of the watches that originally really drew me to MicroBrands. I think the design is super unique. We'll get into it in just a moment, but a year and a half, 2 years ago, I got my eyes on the Avidiver and I just knew it was something special. So again, I'm super excited to be launching this particular brand at this particular time. There's so many unique factors to this watch and things that I really love about it. So I'd really like to get into the finer details, give you an idea what the Gavox Avidiver is and why I love it so much. Unlike many watches that I fall in love with, there isn't one particular thing about the Avidiver that drew me in. It's the entire package. The sandwich dial, the font of the numbers, the layout of the dial, in this case is just the arrow, the K-shape, the 2 crowns. To me personally, it's just one of those watches that right from the jump, I knew I loved on first glance. As you've probably heard me say before, I'm a sucker for dive watches, I'm a sucker for sandwich dials, and the Avidiver's got both of that. I also happen to love a Gavox style case where there's an internal rotating bezel and 2 crowns. That dual crown placement makes it very comfortable where the crown is typically at 3 o'clock. It can often dig into your wrist. That dual crown being off-centered at 2 and 4, to me just makes it much more comfortable to wear. Getting into the details of the Avidiver, the case is constructed of 316 stainless steel or 316 stainless steel with a PVD coating. Measuring in at 43 millimeters in diameter with a case thickness of 12.8 millimeters. The date is positioned at 4 o'clock and the watch features 2 screw down crowns, which we'll get into in just a moment. There's a double dome sapphire crystal with double layer of anti-reflection. The internal rotating indicator, again, we'll get into in just a second when we get into the crowns. A super soft, super durable silicone strap, and the water resistance is 20 atmospheres or 600 feet. So I bet you guys now see why I am so in love with the Avidiver. To me, it's got a uniqueness that many brands cannot capture. And as a guy who loves dive watches and just watches in general, the Avidiver really just speaks to me. The truth of the matter is, I'm having a very hard time choosing between the blue and the white dial. It's a really tough call for me. I can't end up with both. I have to make a decision, but you know, chime in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And there's a lot of other things going on at WatchGauge. As I mentioned, I do have at least another 3 brands that I will be introducing over the next couple of weeks. To make room for some of these brands, I did open up a clearance section on the website. So on WatchGauge.com, along the menu bar on the top there, there's a clearance section where I'll be moving out watches that we have here in inventory to make room for not only the Gavox, but the other couple of brands that we'll be carrying. The watches in that section, fear not, they are amazing watches. Just for one reason or another, I may or may not continue to do business with those particular brands. So you can get yourself a pretty good discount by checking out that clearance section. As always, like this video, comment, share, subscribe, follow. All of those things that you do help WatchGauge immensely. We appreciate it. As I said in the beginning of this video, I've got about 140 watches to ship out over the next handful of days. I'm sure I'll be working here over the weekend and some late nights. Maybe I'll chime in with a live video or 2 on Instagram or Facebook. And for now, I'm going to wrap this up, get this video edited so I can get home to my family for the weekend. We've got some hockey. We've got some fun times playing with the family. And in the meantime, I'll be shooting back to the office to get some work done while I can. So listen, everybody have a fantastic weekend. Check out the Gavox Avidiver. Check out all the other things we have going on WatchGauge. And as always, thank you so much for your support. And we will get back at you probably very early next week. All right, guys, have a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you soon.